So I've been testing out some more fountain pen inks, and I wanted to give everyone a quick update. I've tested out a bunch of inks via this sort of sample vials, and they cost between like $2.50 and $3, maybe $4 each. So it's a really great way to test out an ink. The problem is, like, every time you get a fountain pen, you supposedly would have to clean it out, get the old ink out of there, get all the water out of there, and it's like I don't know, maybe a 5 to 10 minute process, and it gets very tedious. So I've been looking at a way to streamline that process. And I know some people use dip pens, but I don't tend to write with a dip pen, so it's not really a very good test. So what I did was I bought a whole bunch of these Pilot Preppies, and they cost $3 each, and you can buy it in a big pack like this. You don't really save any money if you get it in a big pack, and I turn them all into eyedroppers, which is, I think, the best way to write, but not necessary. The good thing about turning them into eyedroppers is you don't have to empty out and refill all these cartridges. And I have a ton of these cartridges laying around now, but I'll use them eventually. And what I've been doing is you turn each of them into an eyedropper, the way I've done with that little band here and some silicone grease there. Fill this up about 3 milliliters. And these samples are, I think it's a 3 milliliter sample. I don't know what it is, but usually it's between a 3 and 4 millimeter sample. You fill this up, and there's a drop or two left over in case you want to use this later. And I figured I would keep this like little drop here for reference. You get a full pen. This will be good for some pretty extended period of time. This time I labeled them. I was not labeling before, which was causing a lot of confusion, especially between the different blues. And now it's labeled. So this is an Organics Nitrogen Blue, and some of these names are crazy, so I've been shortening them a little bit. Organics Henry David Thoreau Walden Pond. Bungubox C. This is a much longer name, so I didn't even attempt that one, and it's easy enough to Google and figure it out. Organics Ruri Twilight, so on and so forth. And the nice thing about it is I'm testing with which each of the pen is the same. It's not like I'm changing them out or like, you know, having to clean out all these pens. And it's like you can really get a good understanding of what ink is what. So I have my sort of reference inks, which are the Pilot Metropolitan Medium with that Akkerman Gray. Here's a Pilot, the Kakuna with the fine ink. So that's a fine tip with just some Pilot ink. I forget which one, so I didn't label it there. And now we're into the test inks. And these are my latest batch of ones I've been trying. Figured I'd run through them each. And you really cannot test these out too closely or get a great idea through a video. So this is not a substitute for actually buying the ink, but it is an interesting experiment for me and worth the time, I think, for you to watch, but make your own decision there. There's the Bungubox Dandyism, Bungubox C, Organics Hemingway, Sea Blue. So I you know, this is just a sample of what I bought, and this is just the latest round. The ones I would call out as being the best of the bunch here is I really like this Organics Hemingway Sea Blue. Just a really deep, dark blue. It's very rich, kind of slow to dry, but you could see here, it's just like really nice saturation. The Organics Nitrogen Blue is nice too, kind of a blue. There's a little bit of shyness or sheen there. So that's really good. Of course, the Akkerman Stormy Blue, that's my favorite from the last couple weeks of testing. And here I put in a fine, where I don't like it as much, but it is just a nice color. Organics, this is the Ralph Waldo Emerson Twilight, very nice too. And then this Colorverse Extra Dimension, pretty solid. The Organics Henry David Thoreau is a Walden Pond. This one, it might be a little hard to pick up here, but it's got a little bit of green in it. And it looks fairly green in person. It's hard to pick up with the camera. So out of the bunch, I really would check out the Organics Hemingway Sea Blue, the Organics Nitrogen Blue, and those are the best. I would say if you want something third, maybe the Organics Ralph Walden Emerson Twilight, or the Colorverse Extra Dimension I thought was really nice. So maybe the Organics Hemingway, Organics Nitrogen, and the Colorverse Extra Dimension. The biggest disappointments from the group, I would say this Bungubox Sea Blue. It's just sort of like undersaturated and a little watery. I wasn't impressed with that. And I really did not like this Colorverse Saturn V. I thought that was just sort of disappointing. And then here we have some reference inks. Again, that 29 gray, which is nice, but not extraordinary. The Konpeki, which everyone sort of loves. And then I forgot what that was, so I stopped. So yeah, that's the really standouts for me. I think this Organics brand, who I've never really used before, seems to make some really solid ink. So I'm gonna keep playing with those. This is on a Midori cotton paper, if anyone cares about that sort of thing. It's pretty nice. I don't know, I wasn't blown away. Have some more colors I didn't test out yet, like this Colorverse Proxima B, but I ran out of O-rings. So yeah, that is just sort of my process lately for testing out inks. It's not very cost effective. You know, obviously it comes down to $3 plus the cost of the O-ring, plus the cost of silicone grease, so maybe $3.25 plus the ink. So you're looking at, you know, between $6 and $8 to test out every ink. So I'll probably curtail this pretty shortly, just because it's starting to add up in price. But I have been really enjoying this. And I know people do cotton swab tests, but it kind of defeats the purpose for me, was you're not really writing with it. So this has been fun. But yeah, so if anyone cares out there, please leave a comment. Let me know that you care. And I'll keep going with these. If not, I will probably just retreat back to my ink corner and do the testing in private and just kind of call out the really best inks. So yeah, that is a quick test of some cool inks focused on Colorverse and Saturn V. I happen to order them all from the same place. That's why they're all from the Van Ness. But pretty shortly I'll be moving on and ordering from some other places. They just happen to have a good selection and like insanely fast shipping from my house, just through sheer geographic luck, I guess. So yeah, anyway, that is how I've been testing inks. Thanks for watching.